Okay, so for this basketball drill, we're going to have two lines above the 3-point line. Each line can have 2 to 3 athletes. We want the basketballs in both of these lines. So as we can see, we have a line here on this side on the right side, and a line here on this side on the left side. Now, what we're going to be working on is passing and cutting, right? Passing and cutting. That's going to be, the consistent thing that we're working on here. Okay, so let's say we start this drill with this line on the right side. Now, it's important that this is one of those drills where it's going to be continuous movement, right? It's going to be continuously moving. We're moving. We're moving. There isn't really a lot of stopping here on this play. Okay, so we want to work on passing and cutting, but we also want to work on paint touches. Okay, so we can kind of have this person outside the 3-point line if we're dealing with an older team. If we're dealing with a younger team, you might want to move them in a little bit. Okay, maybe these lines can also move over here a little bit more if we have them a little bit too wide to start. Okay, so we're going to start with number one who has the basketball. And what number one is going to do is they're going to drive hard to the basket. Now, we want to force the idea of getting a paint touch. Now, it depends how high you want to put this wing player, so we put them right here, right? We want to enforce the idea of getting a paint touch, right? That's what we want. If we're working on, continuous movement and continuous motion, and even though this is, kind of a warm-up style of a drill, we still want to implement those strategies. Okay, we attack the paint, we force, defensive we force the defense to collapse off of our penetration, and that is how we get the ball moving on a 5-out motion offense. We want to, enforce those principles. So number one is going to cut hard to the key, right? They want to get, as close to a paint touch as possible. And then they're going to kick the ball out, and they're just going to run a basic give and go, right? They give to, number 7 in this line, and then they receive the ball back. And then number one is going to go up for a layup after receiving the basketball. Okay. Now, as number one goes up for that layup, number 7 here is following their pass and they're getting the rebound. Okay. After number one goes up for that layup, they're going to continue moving and then they're going to fill this wing. Okay. Number 7 gets the rebound. They're dribbling back to the back of the line with the basketball. Okay. Ball goes to the front of the line again. And now we run the exact same play, the exact same drill over here on this side of the floor. Number 4 is going to cut to the basket hard. They're going to get that paint touch, or at least, attempt to get a paint touch. Then we want to, hypothetically, have a situation here where the defense would collapse. So we kick it out. Number 4 continues to cut. They have their hands up for a target looking for the basketball, right? It's a big important thing. We want to even work on the little things, the smaller fundamentals, right? We have our hands up. We look for the basketball. Number 1 is going to give the ball back to number 4. Number 4 goes up for that layup. Number 1 is following the pass. Number 4 continues to move. They fill this side, right? Number 1 is getting the rebound, and then they're filling the back of this line. So number 1 comes to the back of this line with the basketball. Basketball's over here now. Now we're reset. So as you can see, it's continuous movement. Number 2, right? They're getting that paint touch. They're going to kick the ball out. They're going to look for the ball back. They're going to receive it. Right, number 2 is going to go up for the layup. Number 4 is going to follow their pass. Number 2 goes up for the layup. Right, they're continuously moving. They're then filling this line. Number 4 is getting the rebound. They're going to the back of this line. Right, my lines are kind of getting messed up here, but you understand what we're looking at. So overall, we have our continuous movement. Right, we're basically the whole drill is just steady go, steady go, steady go. We're not really slowing down at all. We're not really stopping. We're continuously moving. So it's achieving one, a warm up, right? We're warming up our team, but also number 2, right? We're working on passing and cutting. We're working on, something that will be essential to a continuous movement, to a continuous motion offense, which is we penetrate the defense, we force them to collapse, we kick the ball out, we look for the ball back, we have our hands up for a target, right? It's a continuous movement. And even though, it is just a warm-up drill, it sets the tone for the rest of the practice. It sets the tone for what we want to achieve, which is continuous movement on the offensive end. All right, so this basketball drill is named Baskonia. And basically what we're going to look at here is the drive and kick action, right? We want to teach our teams to drive into the paint and get a paint touch and then be able to kick the ball out to one of our teammates, right? We want to mimic that motion offense style of movement, that continuous motion style of movement, right? That we would get in a motion offense, right? And when we go to teach motion offense, we want to teach continuous movement. We have to use drills like this to teach concepts, right? We don't want to teach robotic plays. We want to teach concepts, okay? So what we're going to focus on in this drill, like I said, is getting a paint touch. So we want to, teach our teams to focus on driving to the basket hard, right? Driving to the paint hard and getting that paint touch in the key, right? Because when we get that paint touch in the key by driving through the middle, that is how we're going to open things up for the rest of our teammates, okay? So to start this drill, we're going to start with the basketball is down here on the wings, okay? We also have, like I said, a player up top here at the three-point line extended. Okay, so what's going to happen here is number 4 is going to start by pushing the ball out to one of our wings, okay? As they do that, number 4 is now going to fill the back of this line, okay? So they're going to follow their pass. Number 4 right here, actually, before we have number 4 move, we're going to have that same action mimic right here. Number 2 is going to feed the ball up to number 1, and then they're going to fill the back of this line. Now, as that's happening, number 4 is driving hard to the basket. They're mimicking that paint touch. So with the basketball, number 4 is driving hard to the basket, and they're going to kick the ball out to number 3. As that happens, number 4 is going to fill the back of the line. Now, again, as this happening, number 1 is driving toward the middle. And they are kicking the ball out to number 5, and they're now filling this line. That same movement is going to continue. Number 3 is going to swing the ball up. Number 2 is going to get that paint touch. Number 5 is going to swing the ball up. They're moving up. Number 2 with the basketball is going to kick the ball out to number 1 over here. They're going to fill their spot. Okay, as we see, number 3 came up here and filled the spot. Number 4 now is driving to the basket. As number 4 drives to the basket, they're going to kick the ball out here. Right there, then filling this spot. Number 5 is going to push the ball toward number 1 is going to push the ball toward number 5. So it's that continuous movement of we're passing the ball from here to here, right? And then we're passing the ball from here to getting in the paint and then kicking it out here to another wing. So it's that continuous movement. We're ripping and going toward the paint, and then we're kicking it out to one of our wings. Okay, so let's take a look at this drill. So we're going to start right here with a line of players, and these players are going to start with the basketball in their hand. So as we can see here, we have number 1 with the basketball, number 2 with the basketball, number 3 with the basketball. So these players are starting with the basketball. Now here in this position, number 6, again, the numbers don't really matter. I'm just using those to label each player. But number 6 here, the person in this spot, they are standing under the basket in a rebounder's position. So they're going to be rebounding the basketball. Here, number 4 and number 5, they're going to be the players that will be swinging the basketball from side to side, adding that one more pass. So those 2 players are going to be the players that are really focusing on moving the basketball, right? That one more philosophy. You want to preach to your players one more. Always make that extra pass when there is the opportunity to do so. So if you can make that extra pass, if you can make that one more pass, you do it. Right? So how this is going to start, number 1 right here with the basketball, they're going to drive with the basketball to the paint and get a paint touch. So they're going to drive about right here with the basketball. Okay, so, the biggest thing that we want to focus on when we're teaching our offense, especially with this particular drill, is it has to start with a paint touch. Now, generally speaking, in an offensive setting, if your paint touch comes from a cut or a drive or a pick and roll, whatever that may be, as long as you get that paint touch, you're able to get your offense moving because you're able to get the defense to collapse, right? So we want to get the offense moving by having a paint touch. And here's what this drill is going to preach, right? We get in the paint. So number 1 gets in the paint right now. And number 1 then is going to pass the ball out to number 4. So they are mimicking a situation where maybe number 4's defender leaves them and comes on to number 1 to run a double team in the key. So number 1 is passing the ball to number 4. And what number 4 is going to do then is they're going to make that extra pass, that swing pass over here to number 5. Okay? So now we're set up like this. We have the ball swung from side to side. Now, in terms of the players that are passing the ball, they're going to follow their pass. So number 1 is going to follow their pass, and they're going to come to this spot. And number 4 is going to follow their pass, and they're going to come then to this spot. What number 5 is then going to do is attack the basket for a layup. Okay, if you want with your team, if you want to, focus on swinging the ball from side to side and getting an outside jump shot, that's okay too. You can have number 5 shoot the basketball, but for the sake of this drill right now, we'll just say that number 5 is going to attack and go up for a wide open layup. Okay, so after number 5 goes up for that layup, they're then going to take this spot in line. And number 6, the rebounder spot, they are going to get the rebound. Okay, after number 6 gets the rebound, they're going to do a full court sprint, pushing the basketball up all the way down here and attacking the basket for a layup. So number 6 is moving down, they're attacking this basket for a layup, and then the drill will reset. Number 6 will come back here to the back of the line, right? And now number 2 will run the same process. They're driving to the paint, right? Number 2 is driving to the paint. They're going to pass the basketball over here to number 1, right? Number 1 swinging it to number 4, and now number 4 will drive to the basket. But like I said, if you want to preach, swinging that basketball and getting an outside jump shot, you can do that as well.